By all accounts, Canada should be dominating the current artificial intelligence boom. Decades ago, researchers here laid the groundwork for the modern machine learning systems we use today. Figures like Geoffrey Hinton, widely recognized as one of the pioneers of the technology, did his early neural network research at the University of Toronto. Alongside him, Yoshua Bengio pushed the boundaries of deep learning in Montreal, helping turn the country into a premier global hub for academic talent. But this chart reveals a disconnect. It compares Canada's top-tier ranking in AI research output against its actual business adoption rate. Despite producing world-class innovation, only 12% of Canadian businesses are actively using AI today. Looking at the underlying hardware supply chain, the vulnerability deepens. Canada currently relies heavily on foreign data centers for computing power, and almost entirely on offshore facilities to fabricate the physical chips required to run these models. Operating as a world-class research laboratory creates little economic value if domestic industries cannot use the results. To address this, the 2026 AI for All strategy outlines a shift in focus, moving from supporting theoretical research to incentivizing commercial deployment across the country. The strategy is anchored by three primary goals, starting with trust. The underlying logic here is straightforward. Widespread adoption is unlikely if workers and consumers view these tools as a threat to their safety or privacy. To address this domestically, the plan outlines a $50 million investment to expand the Canadian AI Safety Institute. Their mandate is to track emerging risks and conduct transparent, standardized evaluations of new AI models before they reach the public. A key component of this safety push focuses on transparency, specifically through the development of digital watermarking capabilities. This ensures citizens can identify whether the content they are interacting with is human or AI-generated. Internationally, the strategy leverages Canada's diplomatic standing to build structural alliances with partner nations. By coordinating with the G7 and other allies, the goal is to shape global standards for AI that align with democratic principles. These regulatory guardrails and watermarking standards serve a specific economic function. By defining safe parameters, the government intends to build the public confidence required to encourage mass adoption. Once that baseline of trust is established, the strategy pivots to its second core objective. This section addresses the mechanics of moving artificial intelligence out of the laboratory and into the daily operations of Canadian businesses. The first major intervention focuses on the workforce. Through a national AI literacy initiative, the government is funding entry-level training for citizens, alongside a commitment to create 90,000 AI-related job placements and reskilling opportunities for mid-career professionals. This graphic maps out the strategy's industrial focus. Instead of subsidizing general adoption, the government is prioritizing specific economic sectors where Canada already has significant activity, specifically agriculture, transportation, and health and life sciences. To accelerate deployment in these areas, the blueprint launches a targeted AI missions program. The first mission dedicates $200 million towards applying machine learning tools to reduce wait times and improve patient outcomes within the healthcare system. By pairing workforce training with targeted industrial funding, the government is attempting to move Canadians from passive users of foreign technology to skilled participants in the domestic AI economy. The final pillar of the strategy focuses on sovereignty. This addresses the structural vulnerabilities surrounding physical hardware and domestic capital that were identified earlier. To reduce reliance on external supply chains, the plan includes a commitment to build a sovereign Canadian supercomputer by 2031. This provides local researchers and startups with domestic access to the processing power required to train new models. On the financial side, the strategy establishes a $500 million Canadian Tech Growth Fund. This initiative is designed to provide flexible growth capital and direct equity investments into the country's most promising AI-native companies. This capital directly targets a recognized scale-up gap. Historically, successful Canadian tech startups have run out of domestic funding options as they grow, often relocating to U.S. markets to secure the capital needed to compete globally. By building domestic computing power and providing late-stage venture capital, the strategy attempts to break that cycle. Without these sovereign resources, the country risks remaining a training ground for talent that eventually leaves to build foreign technology. The ultimate metric for success, moving adoption among small and medium-sized Canadian businesses from 12% today to 60% by 2034.
This integration is projected to increase labor productivity, adding $200 billion to the national GDP. Canada is attempting to transition from its historical role as an academic incubator into a self-sufficient pipeline, one capable of inventing, governing, financing, and scaling its own technological infrastructure.
Ultimately, Canada's approach suggests that possessing the most researchers or producing the best papers yields little economic return if a nation cannot commercialize that research, power it with sovereign infrastructure, and ensure its citizens know how to use it.